Hey, what's going on? We're Loud Luxury. We just sat down with Zach Sang, had an amazing interview.
Yeah, we talked about literally everything, including some exciting stuff on the way for us. Tune in and check it out. You don't want to miss it.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
Yo, it's the Zach Sang Show. We got Dan, we got me, we got Andrew, and we got Joe. Loud Luxury.
Hey!
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so good to see you guys. It's been a while.
It has.
It's been a minute. We saw each other at some radio room thing real quickly.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Was that your first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. By the way, it's like all of these radio stations from all over the country in one room, broadcasting at the same time.
It was a
pretty
lot
sweet.
at once. It was kind of like back and forth,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of fun. Like, we got to meet a lot of really cool people.
Yeah, it was cool getting to meet everyone. We always kind of joke that we're like the accidental radio people because, you know, making this song and everything, we never really had the intention of being on radio, and now all of a sudden we're, you know, going around doing all these interviews, learning as we go. So it's definitely a really fun, interesting experience for us.
And the record you're talking about is Body. So let's dive on in here. You guys, you're from London, Ontario.
Yeah. In Canada, not in the UK.
Not the UK.
It's
We
not
do
as
not
nice.
have UK accents.
But the people are very friendly, I can assure you that.
Yeah.
But every article I read says LA based, but from Canada. Is that an important part of your identity?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Because I mean, LA, if we didn't move here and like fully immerse ourselves, we wouldn't have like even come close to, I think, what our potential is, and even still what our potential is right now. You know?
Yeah. A big part of our journey was linking up in college, doing that. They were playing parties, you know, that sort of being fun. And then it coming to a point where I was graduating from school and we were like, yo, we want to do this for real. We need to move to LA because that's where it's going to happen, you know? It's not going to happen us just sitting around in Canada. So we came out here with practically no money. We were sharing a bed because we couldn't afford rent.
Aw.
Yeah. And eating oatmeal every day. And we came
I
out
still
here.
like oatmeal.
Yeah.
Surprising. But that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Is it in LA that you meet Armin van Buuren's record label people?
No, that was through friends that
Yeah.
just connected us.
Well,
Did
we
that
did-
happen in Canada?
It was kind of a long time coming just because we did Going Under, which was on Armada, one of the sub-labels,
Okay.
like back in like a couple years ago,
Yeah.
I think now. And then we sort of had a relationship with them, and we ended up meeting them like very casually in Miami. And then like we had started sending Body out to literally every single label, and no one wanted it. They're like, you know, I don't know, like I don't understand it, I don't get it. And Armada were the only ones that were like, this is gonna be a hit, we're taking this, like you're signing with us.
Yeah, and thank God they did. They did an incredible job with it. But what we were talking about with the LA thing, it was less about like meeting labels and more just about making the music. Brando, who we did Body with, we literally met at a dive bar down in Hollywood, just from a connection online, and like saw him perform, and we were just so blown away by the, you know, the vibe of his performance. We're like, let's do something together.
So
and that's what happened.
It's about being immersed in it. The fact that wherever
Yes.
you go, there's other
Yeah.
artists.
Yeah,
who
we
you
literally
connect with.
lived, breathed everything.
Yeah. And in Toronto, it's a great city, but you don't have that same like 24/7, you're thinking creatively, you know? And that was a really valuable thing that we knew it was worth sleeping in the same bed to get in LA. So,
And it's negative 20 degrees Celsius right there. So
yeah.
That's
Weather-
another factor.
Weather's great here.
Everybody who's watching our interview in the U.S. right now is like Celsius.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
what that is.
So it'd be
Calculator.
like, what would be the conversion? Let's see.
Oh, it would probably
Yeah,
be
what
like
they are.
-5.
Yeah, -5
Fahrenheit.
or like-
Oh,
negative
wow.
10, like really cold.
Super cold.
So
yeah.
At what point is Body done? Does that happen in Canada? Does that happen in L.A.?
Good question.
Yeah,
You mean in
you're-
terms of like its shelf life.
I mean, no. Like, when did you finish the record?
Oh,
Is it a I mean,
honestly, it was pretty much right up until we released it because it took almost like a year to make it.
was it in L.A. or was
Yeah.
it in Canada?
Yeah, it was in-
Everywhere.
Well, yeah.
Even Brando actually even came down to Toronto and we were like working on it. We just really believed in it, and you know, I think within the first 2 weeks of starting the idea, we knew what we wanted
There's
to do with it.
something there.
Yeah, but when you really care about a song, you're literally like listening to it 24/7, like driving yourself to the brink of insanity. Just to make sure that every little aspect of it, stuff that average listeners wouldn't even hear, is perfect, and that's what we did.
How does it start? How long ago?
This goes back
Honestly,
to,
like a year from when we released it, pretty much, like
Yeah.
in the summertime.
yeah, it goes back
So
to
like a year and a half?
Yeah, because we started making the song. It was like super early, and then our buddy, who was our videographer, came down from Canada and stayed with us. and he was just like, oh, do you want to like shoot a video maybe for something this week, like maybe we can get some like content or whatever. And then he was like, and I was like, yeah, like we're working on this song right now. Like I don't know if we're ever going to release it or if it's going to see the light of day, but I mean, this is a good one. We could do a video too. And then we shot the Body music video.
Yeah, this is October 2016.
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah, and
Song's
even
been
before that, we'd already started working
It
on
was
the song in like
the
August
very early
2016.
stages was around for like about a year.
Wow.
But we took like a long time perfecting it because we weren't like super sure on like some things and like mixing and like there's just like a lot of little tweaks and we were like perfectionists on it.
What was it about the song that you believed that it was a hit? Besides the fact that it was your song, is there anything in specific that you're like?
It's the general feeling. Like usually when we listen to something, if we hear something right away and we're like, this gives us like a special feeling, that's kind of what we look for.
Yeah, I just remember sort of feeling like you couldn't really put it in one pile. You know what I mean? Like you listen to it and like because of Brando's voice, it's kind of got like some weird country twang in parts. There's like some hip hop elements there. It just had all of this weird stuff rolled into one. And our reaction was either people are gonna love this and can't get enough of it, or they're gonna be like, I don't get this at all.
Yeah.
This is too weird.
Which
and
a lot
it
of people
just
did.
Go and die.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't
Yeah.
understand it at first.
I understand. I get that because everybody thinks genre has to have a sound because
Yes.
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
people are used to.
Yeah, so it sort of felt like the first time we were making something where we're like, I don't really know where there's a place for this. So let's hope there's a place.
So okay, back to 2016.
Yeah.
You're working on the song. Is
20
this
pounds skinnier probably from all the oatmeal every day.
La Pour?
Yeah.
Is the song done before you bring it to Brando? Like, do you have the lyrics set
Oh
in?
no! So we got in the studio with him, and he showed us a very early version of like the top line,
Yeah.
and everything, and it sort of sounded like Rack City almost. Like that was
Yeah.
like the beat that was underneath it.
So he basically wrote this like hip hop song years ago and was like, I want to show you guys this. And it had like the hook of Body on it and like these verses, but it was way slower, like Joe was saying, completely different vibe
Yeah.
of the song. And he's like, would you guys want to mess around with this? And we were like, absolutely. Like,
yeah, we
you
heard
know,
we heard it, and we were instantly like,
we
yes,
think the melodies
please
are
give this to
cool,
us.
but let's do our own take on it. So we took the vocal, sped it up a bunch, changed everything about the song, structure,
Mm-hmm. Rearranged
chords,
it,
vibe,
yeah.
Got it.
and then went from there.
So it really starts with this thing that he gives you.
Yeah. So he has this little thing, and I mean, I think I have it on my phone if you want to hear
Yeah, I would
it.
love
I'm not
to.
sure. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if the mic can pick it up, but
That's normally how we like start off with people when we're working together. It's just we kind of sit around. It's not even like we're really working. We're just kind of listening to some music, like what other people like, what their influences are, and the same with us. Like we're just like sharing music, you know?
But it's also a skill for you guys because one of your biggest claim to fame and easily your biggest paycheck pre-Body was the remix for Martin Garrix.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
ability to take somebody's record,
Yeah.
strip it down to literally
We're-
just the vocals and rework.
We're literally
our favorite way to
we're
work.
literally just like therapists where we sit down, talk with an artist, feel what their vibe is, and just they're all so talented and such incredible souls, and we just figure out how can we bring this and make it something accessible that people can get. Is there something that they're missing where maybe they just haven't done this in a song and it doesn't hit the right way? We're always just problem solving.
Yeah. Do you have that original? I would.
Yeah.
I mean, that
It's so
fascinates
funny.
me. But yeah, is it like what do you
see.
listen for? Or what do you hear in that original?
Here, let me
piece?
play it for you first, and
Yeah.
then we'll chat about it.
Body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my,
I get it.
grinding on my innocence. Yeah, babe, don't make a sound. 2 a.m. low, gotta keep it down. Don't wait around for a signal now. Give me some verb, I ain't talking now. You wanna ride in the 6?
Strip club.
Wow. Yeah.
Strip club.
Yeah, you definitely hear the Rack City in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
it's that bass.
So what stands out?
So what our thinking is he
It's the
plays
melodies.
he plays this song, and instantly I just remember thinking, "Body on my," like just being like, "Damn, that's super catchy."
Yeah.
But nothing else about it really connected. So that's why we were like, let's take the vocal and just see what we can do. So we started doing our weird, crazy thing where we sped it
It's
up.
basically
we
like a
pitched it
bunch of
down.
Frankensteining stuff.
Yeah.
Do you work
changing the
separately as you're
chords.
doing it, or do you work on one set?
Together, and like sometimes we're doing stuff separately, but for the most part, the entire creative process is done together.
So you're speeding it up. You're adding things. You
Yeah.
can hear the makings of something special in that. And his vocals are so
And it's
unique.
always, I'm listening for like melodies. I'm like, lyrics are obviously very important, but for me, if it's like something that's just like timeless melody, like it's amazing.
I remember the real moment for me was taking the vocal and the chords, especially the opening thing that you actually hear in Body now, like that little key part. That was something that we were messing around with, and we didn't have anything in the song done, just the vocal and the keys.
Yeah, the piano.
And just that sitting alone, you could listen to the song like start to finish, and you're like, this feels great. That was like a really big moment for us where it's like, you know, if a song just like when it's just on piano and just the vocals alone draws you in that much, there's no fluff, there's no like, you know, fancy bells
Yeah, it's
and
like
whistles.
campfire stuff.
Yeah, it just draws you in. And that was definitely a big moment where we're like, okay, this feels different.
Did Brando care what you guys did with the vocals, or is he just like take it and do what you want?
Yeah, he was just like,
Yeah.
whatever.
The best
He's like
part,
the most easygoing guy we've ever
he just
met.
hit
literally.
the lottery. Yeah.
No, the best part about Brando, and I respect this, is that he comes from a more hip hop R&B background, and a lot of people that we've worked with in that genre are a little bit more worried about like
They're a little bit more
what are
closed-minded.
people gonna think?
Yeah.
Like you know how we're talking about like there needing to be a place for things
Of
and
course.
genres. A lot of them are very by the rules, whereas Brando's very open minded to just discovering new things and finding the best song. And he gave us. You know, he gave us the confidence to be able to do our thing on it. A lot of people would have been like, "Oh, this doesn't make sense." You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he was just kind of like, "Do what you guys want.
He's so
I trust
chill.
you. You know, I believe in you guys." And I think it worked out pretty well for everyone.
Yeah, he really did just hit the lottery, right? Because he wrote the lyrics on that record. So does he have sole writing credit?
Well, since we changed a bunch of things like the chords, the
Okay.
arrangement, and
Yeah.
and
we changed a lot of
Yeah.
stuff from like the way it was.
Got it. You're on there too?
yeah,
Everybody's
we both
on
are.
it.
Hello, beautiful human. Do you have a bunch of stuff like lying around your house, like maybe a baseball glove that doesn't fit, that pair of jeans that you wore once, or like a phone hiding in a drawer somewhere? Let me tell you about an app that you can use all that stuff to make a little money. You can sell it. The app is called Mercari. Mercari is a selling app that makes it fast and easy to sell pretty much anything. The app has over 300,000 reviews. 300,000 with an average rating of 4.8 stars. That's pretty freaking good. You want to know why it's rated so high? It's because it really couldn't be simpler. You take a few pics of your stuff, you add a description, set a price, and boom, your item's listed. Then once it's sold, Mercari is going to email you a shipping label. You just stick that label on your product and you send it out. It's so easy. So what are you waiting for? I know you got stuff that you need to sell. So use it, sell it, ship it, get paid with Mercari. Do it. You can find Mercari on the App Store. That is Mercari. Mercari. It's the selling app. I got to get back to this interview. Pressure Now, understanding where Body starts. I mean, you do have another record that has been creeping, man. Love No More, another
Yeah.
great one. Pressure to have another Body?
No, I don't ever want to like have that mentality where it's like, oh, we made a hit, now we need to make another one, because it's just, you're just gonna set yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna stress yourself out. Like
Yeah.
it's just make music and make stuff that you feel good about and is special to you and special to other people. And I think that's the recipe for making stuff that resonates with
Yeah,
others.
we're just really confident in like what excites us and what we love, that even if it's not the next one that hits or the one after that, that one of those that's just driven like from a genuine place of us being passionate and stuff like that will break through.
I get that. Do you feel like a lot of your creative process is kind of determined by a vocalist?
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's more so just about collaborating with other people. It's not just like solely around
Yeah,
the
relationships.
vocals. Yeah, it's about relationships. And like what I've been saying to a lot of people is the people that we vibe with and we work the best with are the people that we can kind of consider family afterwards. Like Brando, we're hanging out with him last night. We see him all the time. Anders, hang out with him all the time.
But that's
Like,
rare, you know?
Yeah, and that's the type of people that we try to work with. It doesn't have to be a singer. It could be a guitarist. It could be whatever. Like honestly, doesn't matter as long as it's good people. That's all we care about.
Got it. When it's not as self-contained, that's a variable that is kind of out of your control, right? So is there pressure to build relationships with people?
Yeah, of course.
Not pressure, not like, oh, I need to do this because otherwise we're gonna
Yeah.
get screwed.
No, but you want
just
to have a
more-
good relationship
yeah.
with people. It's kind of like if we just got like a random top line or something like that, it's less special than like finding somebody random like out somewhere and like building a relationship
course.
with
Yeah.
them.
It's like going back to the thing I was talking about before, where it's like we're basically being people's therapists. Is like we love connecting with new people, talking to them,
Yeah.
you know, and just figuring out like how can we take something that they've done or that we're doing together
Yeah.
and bring it to the world in a way that maybe they never
Like,
thought of before.
Sex Like Me, we wrote it legitimately in our living room, like on a couch like this, with Laura and Dyson, and we're just like, what's going on in your life right now? And she's like, oh, I just like broke up with my boyfriend. We're like, perfect, let's write about
let's
that.
write about it. And
dissect
then
and-
songs done in 20 minutes,
Yeah.
you know?
So I just fired up the
Yeah.
mic and started singing, like started writing some stuff, and it was done.
So are lyrics always first for you, or would you start with production?
Mostly melodies. In terms
Okay.
of vocals, it's mostly melodies, and then we kind of like do like that weird ad-libbing thing afterwards if stuff doesn't make sense.
we can work anyway, and it's not like we're overly dependent on vocalists, but it's just so much easier to, like, let's say already have a well-written song and then figure out how you want to make it make sense, rather than doing all of that and then figuring out how to put a good song over top of it, right?
I get that.
It's just you skip so many steps in terms of trying to make a good song.
Yeah. You're adding to what's already good.
Yeah.
If-
And you can work other ways, and we've done it other ways
Yeah.
before, but this is just by far...
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the production is for me, at least. Like, it could be literally anything, but like I think Rick Rubin said it, where if you can listen to it like at a campfire, just like a guitar and like a vocal, then
It's a good song.
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a good song. If it's a good song, it's a good song.
Exactly.
Crazy that you have a residency at Hakkasan.
Loving
Very
it. Man, they're
crazy.
the best, because I'll tell you one thing. We're on the road all the time. Between September and October alone, we played like 60 shows. So that's a show a day. So in all this chaos, all this partying and meeting new people, it's really nice being able to go to Vegas, you know, twice a month, 3 times a month, and just have the same group of people that you work with. You know,
Yeah.
you know the club inside out.
They're like a big family.
It's like the equivalent, the DJ equivalent of getting to sleep in your own bed. You're just like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm home. This is good.
It's also a validating move, and it throws you in the arena with some pretty big people.
Yeah.
And we have so much to learn from all of them, which is amazing. You know, we really look up to Tiesto. We really look up to Calvin Harris. We really look up to Zed. So getting to see how they operate, it takes...
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's like so cool for us.
Yeah.
Does a record like Body allow you a luxury like Hakkasan?
What do you mean? Like,
Do you think
was
you
it
could have
from-
gotten Hakkasan if Body wasn't a hit?
Maybe.
Yes and no. I mean, it really depends, but
Yeah, what really changed
You're-
things for Vegas, to be honest, was we're lucky to work with a really good team that understands the culture of Vegas, and it's a very specific vibe that some people can't get right, some people can. So I think having people properly show us the way of like,
Yeah.
this is what you want to do in Vegas, whether it be big artists like Tiesto, friends of ours, our managers, like everyone just kind of helped us. You know, so it's not like we're just punching
it's
in
a
the
big
dark.
learning curve.
Yeah.
It's definitely a big learning curve
Yeah.
to be able to get it and like do it
Yeah.
properly and like
Well, you-
professionally.
It's do it right, and there's a
Yeah.
lot at risk, right?
Exactly, because there's tons of artists that have come into Vegas and had a Body type hit, right?
Yeah.
And then
It
you know
just
it
wasn't
doesn't
the right
work out.
act. Yeah, it
yeah,
just wasn't the right vibe. It wasn't the right feel.
yeah. So to be completely honest, the one thing that's really put us ahead there is having all these people guide us in the right direction, so we can do that and throw the best party.
And we've played like every type, like literally every type of party since we started. Like you name it, we've probably played it.
Yeah, and they actually all helped. Like playing Sierra's Sweet 16 birthday bash helped me a lot. You know, and
I was
understanding
DJing
music for
weddings
Vegas.
like when I was just trying to make some extra cash on the side.
Yeah.
I was doing weddings and stuff like.
So what is it about Vegas? Like, what do you have to learn about Vegas that's different than every other show?
Well, there's so many different people coming from everywhere to this one place. So you just have to be able to understand like
Yeah.
what people like, you know?
Yeah, how do you figure out pleasing a room of 5,000 people that are all from different parts of the world, different backgrounds, and just want to party?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They have one goal. They spent a
Yeah.
boatload of money.
Yeah.
They just spent more boatloads of money on booze,
Yeah.
and they just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys play mostly house music at your shows?
Yes.
Yep.
So what if you're like, okay, I think these guys want some hip hop or something? Will you put that on?
Then we're not the right people to book. I mean,
We spice in hip hop. Like it's not
Okay.
like we don't play hip hop or whatever, but
Yeah.
like it's not like that's the focus.
Yeah.
It's like we always like take our own spin on it.
Yeah, we make edits with popular songs just so one way or another there's something familiar that people know. But at the end of the day, it's important that we have a lane. Like we're not going to be the people that just play to whatever is popular and just constantly are moving around like that. Like we know who we are, and we just find ways to finesse between that to like reach out to things that are popular right now and
Are
make
you
that work.
rearranging your set every time?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
All done live?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you guys will take like whatever's popular on the radio and like kind of remix it yourself?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you do that for
create as some sort of edit.
We
with
create
it.
like
Yeah.
special edits that only we have, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
How much time do you dedicate a month to that set? Like, will you just like take a weekend and update
Here's the
it?
fortunate thing is that we have a tried and true sort of like, we want to play these songs.
Yeah.
So it's more
Yeah.
just like swapping out moving parts.
Yeah, and it's
rather
always
than
ongoing.
building. Yeah.
It's not like it's just like just for Vegas. Like this is our set. Like we like road test stuff on the in between. So it's like we're not just gonna make it, play it in Vegas, and see how it goes. It's like we have a bunch of other shows this month. We'll try them out. If they don't work, then we're not going to play it. If they do work, we are going to play it.
Yeah,
in
it's a
Vegas.
lot easier now. It was harder when we were first coming up because now we basically have spent 2 years creating a catalog of like, these are songs we love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just figuring out how to make it work to whatever place we're playing. So that's made it a lot easier.
How'd you know it was time to move to LA? Leave Canada behind?
We always wanted to move
Yeah.
there. That was like always a goal of ours because we had made a song like, I think it was in 2015 or something like that. And I just went to LA by myself because I think you had exams. Or
Yeah,
something
I was
like
like
that.
still in school.
And
My parents would have killed me.
Yeah, I remember the first time we went. It was just like one of those things where I think we went up to like by the Griffith Observatory, and we were just like, we need to be here. Like at some point, whenever it
Yeah.
is, like we need to be here.
Yeah, and then we just had the time where we talked, and he's like, "I'm gonna quit my job," and I was like, "Okay."
I literally dropped everything, like everything I was doing. Just
What job did you let go of?
it was like at a music store.
And what was there a collaboration, a moment between the two of you that happened prior to you quitting that you're like, okay, we're at this level now? And
Yeah, like we formed Loud Luxury in 2012.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of crappy music in between.
Lots, lots.
And a lot of bootlegs. But
Yeah, and we always like we would go to LA together
Yeah.
on spring break, where everyone
Yes.
would go to Cancun and get drunk.
Yeah.
We'd go to LA and like try and meet as many people as we could, get invited to parties,
Yeah.
like just try and like sneak into like stuff, just do anything we could to gain more connections. And we all knew, from that, we're like, man, like we need to be out here. And then there was a point where it's just like, all right, it's time.
yeah.
Porter Robinson brought the two of you together?
That was one of the first shows we went to. I think
yeah,
you
the
actually,
first shows,
you actually
yeah.
took me to that. And that was a moment where it was like, all right, this guy's the homie, because he basically kidnapped me from my house. I remember he was like, I'm gonna be outside in 5 minutes, and I come, and his buddy's driving this van because I think he did woodworking or whatever. So it's like this big random van, and they just throw me in the back of it, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I don't even know what's going on. And they're like, we're gonna go to Porter Robinson tonight, like Joe's opening, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll come check it out. And we were hanging out backstage, drinking with his tour manager, all that stuff. And I was like, all right, like, this is cool.
It's
Joe's
a cool
guy.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you were making music at this point?
Yeah, I was making music.
Got it.
Yeah.
By yourself?
Yep, just on my own, like kind of just learning. Like none of it was good. Like none of it.
Like before that, we were hanging out here and there and like just chilling, and we'd see each other once in a while. But that was when we really grew closer, because I was in London still for the summer, and we were just doing dumb stuff like that, like going to shows. I would like go see him play, and then we'd just go back to ours and just like produce till 7 a.m. Like we were just messing around.
But do you ask to make music with Joe, or do you ask him to make music with you?
I think
It just
he
sort of
asked me.
happened.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was like, after we first met, it was I was the president of the DJ club at our school at the time.
There was a DJ club?
There was a DJ club.
That's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, great
And
school.
I wish I had that.
and then he was at the first meeting, so I remember just afterwards he was like, "Oh yeah, like I make music." And
Yeah.
and not a lot of people in the club were like producers; they were mostly just like DJs, right, trying to learn. And then I was like, "Oh, like show me some music," and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty good. Like we should like get in the studio, chop it
Yeah.
up sometime."
Yeah, we were collaborating on tracks. And then I remember he came to me during the summer after all that with like a formal plan, being like, I think that we should like make a duo. We should figure out a name and all of that. And I was like, yeah, I'm down.
What did you give him? Was it you singing, or was it just
beats.
Beats.
Yeah. Like I would like I was like starting a few ideas, and I was like, here, like see what you can do with this. Like I would make like probably realistically Avicii ripoffs at that time, and just like have these like things that were very rough and start like not finished, and be like, hey, like mess around with this, see what you can do, and then we just like make the track together.
Is that an important part of the learning process, like listening to other producers or
Yes.
whatever?
Oh
and, like,
yeah, 100%.
Kind of.
I've learned so much stuff just by being in the room with people that are better than me, and just learning from that.
Yeah.
So I that's my preferred way of working is with other people and collaborating and just like learning, because I mean, you have no idea what you could learn from somebody else.
Yeah.
But even when you're like doing your Avicii ripoffs, like that's a part of the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, everyone, just because, like, let's say you want to learn how to make music, you just make what you like first. And then it's only after a certain time that you're like, okay, I've been through this a lot, that you can actually start doing something different.
Like that was one of the best ways we learned was like we would just try to like recreate like an Avicii track or something like that.
Cool.
Which artist is the hardest to recreate?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good one.
We haven't been on our remake game too much
Yeah.
lately, to be honest. But like, I know you were talking about Porter earlier. His stuff is very unique musically.
Yeah, Flume is very cool.
Yeah,
Boom.
Yeah.
Flume
very
is
cool
definitely
stuff.
up there as well.
Would you go back to the remix stuff if somebody asked?
I mean, why-
Remixing tracks? Yeah, we're
Not
always-
not like all the time, but yeah, if we got asked, maybe we could try it out and see what we could do.
Yeah, I mean, we're really focused on just like our own original stuff right
Yeah.
now. But you know, we're open minded, and I think it's important to just stay as open minded as
Be
possible.
fun to try it out.
Yeah.
Have you either one of you put vocals on a record before?
No,
Will you ever?
we're
Maybe.
You know, we're very honest about what our strengths and weaknesses are, and neither of us can sing for the life of us. Like, don't go to karaoke with me because it's going to be a
very bad.
terrible time.
Or go to karaoke with us because it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Either
if you
one.
want a good laugh,
We'll
go to
K-Town.
karaoke.
We'll go to K-Town at 4 a.m.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe it's something in the future, but the goal right now is to make the best possible song. If that one day means that it's one of us singing on it, great, but I don't think right now.
Not everyone is a fan of Drew Taggart singing, but he still sings on the Chainsmokers songs.
He's gotten really good.
Has he?
He's,
Yeah,
he's
he's
a better
gotten really
singer
good.
than us, so I get it. You know what I mean?
No, I
Like,
respect him for it because I mean the
Yeah.
guy puts in a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I see it every time. Like every time we see them, like he's backstage,
Yeah.
he's warming up, he's like on Skype with like his vocal coach and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
So
so
you
he's
can't
really
you
putting
can't
in
knock
work.
a guy for trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's very disciplined about it. We, like I was saying, we just have our strengths and weaknesses and know that that's not us. So
Another hit. Does it exist right now for you guys? Is Love No More going to go all the way?
fingers crossed.
see.
And if it doesn't, the next one will. And if that one doesn't,
We
the
have
next
so
one
much
will.
music that we're sitting on right now.
Yeah.
It's scary.
How many records?
Oh, man.
I don't even know.
Any vocalists
count.
that the world would know? Are you going for unknowns?
Nothing too soon that we can talk about yet, just because we're still getting some stuff figured out. But we've been working with some really talented people lately
Yeah.
from very different backgrounds, which is exciting for us.
Some very big, some like more unknown. But I mean, like I said before, it's just working with the right people and
Yeah.
like finding different backgrounds and different
Finding
stories.
a vibe.
How do you measure success right now?
Good question.
Well, are you happy? That's a good question to ask. Are you happy?
How much I have to eat oatmeal?
Yeah.
And you're eating oatmeal the proper amount once a day? For breakfast?
I don't
You
eat
should
any
be
more
eating oatmeal once a day.
I don't eat any more oatmeal because we don't have to do that anymore. You know when you eat a food,
I like
for
a nice
way-
steel cut oatmeal in the morning.
you know when you eat a food too much, that's like you never want to
Yes.
taste it again. That's me with oatmeal, which is sad because I genuinely liked oatmeal until that point, and now it's just ruined for me.
How much do you guys actually party?
More than I'd like to admit.
Yes.
Or
Really?
more,
Yes.
or more than
We
I'll
were
tell
just
my
in
parents.
Australia for 10 days, and let me tell you, we let loose.
We went out like every single night.
Just like,
But I will say this though, to be fair, it's not like us just like, you know, being unhinged and crazy.
No,
it's
no.
just at the point that we are in our careers, we're still meeting tons of people. We're still trying
Yeah.
to get our names out there. And, you know, Joe and I sort of operate as yes men right now, where we're just down for any opportunity. We want to meet people. We want to get
we
out
obviously
there.
take it in moderation. Like we don't go too crazy, but like, because at the end of the day, like we still have to travel. And,
Of
and
course.
one
You
of
also
the
have a job
worst
to do.
things, one of the worst things in the world is having to go on a plane hungover.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But the way we see it, we have plenty of time in our lives to also be vegan, non-drinking, yoga-loving individuals. So for now, you know, we just want to have a good time and meet people. So
Didn't you guys post something about the paramedics helping out somebody?
Okay, so I
You?
so I was really hungover the one morning, and I was like, oh dang, like I need some Advil or something like that. Just like I got a headache. And at the festival, like they don't mess around, so like
Yeah. They're very
everything you
strict in
do,
Australia.
everything you do is like so on point there. And they're like, okay, like yeah, we can get it for you, but like the paramedics, they have to come do an assessment on you. So I'm literally in our trailer. They have like the pressure on my arm, like trying to get my blood pressure, and
Just
like
for
the
a
thing on
tablet
my
of
finger.
Advil.
Yeah,
Wow.
just for a couple of like tabs of
Yeah.
Advil.
But
What
then
were you
I
do-
obviously went and fake newsed it and made it seem like he was so hungover that they had to bring a paramedic.
That's what I thought when I saw it.
yeah, it was the spin.
What were you drinking the night before?
Tequila.
Everything probably.
No, tequila. Mostly tequila.
Tequila is a rough hangover.
I cope with it now. It's good.
yeah.
I like it much more than vodka or anything else. So
Yeah.
that's my drink of choice.
I feel like we're just super seasoned now, so it's like it doesn't even affect us anymore.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
Yeah. No, there's actually a term for it that we learned in Australia, talking about like people that are just like so used to it that it just doesn't even affect
You're
them
hungover all
anymore.
the time. It's just like whatever.
Yeah,
It's called piss fit.
Yeah. So,
Congratulations to the two of you.
seasoned drinker here in Australia, you're piss fit.
Yeah.
And here, what do you hear?
Seasoned drinker.
Yeah, I don't know.
A little sad.
A grizzled veteran. I'm a sports fan, so I use grizzled vet a lot.
I like that. With all this time partying,
Yeah.
do you set aside time to create and be in the studio?
Yeah,
of course.
definitely.
Or does it follow
as much
you?
time as possible? Like, we're on the road a lot, so it's a little bit more challenging because we don't have like a massive studio in front of us. But I mean, wherever we go, we're working on music all the time.
Yeah, like we at the end of the day, we have our priorities clear. Where it's like music always comes first, and not because like, oh damn, I got to make a song, so we don't become relevant. It's like we're genuinely super passionate about making music and creating. So every part of the day is always, even if I'm like, you know, in my bed or like in the bathroom, I'll like whip out my laptop and start making beats. You know, so that is such a core part of our lives that no matter how much partying or traveling we're doing, we're always thinking and staying creative.
Do you have the goal of being a duo that is more than just singles? Like you could release an entire
yeah.
album?
Yeah, we
I think
definitely
everyone
want to do an
does.
album at some point soon. We definitely want to do an album.
Do you even need one?
I mean, it's something that I think creatively will be nice for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, we make whatever feels right. Like
Yeah.
if a song feels right, if 3 songs feel right, or 10 or whatever, then that'll be what we do.
I think we're just trying not to create something that just feels like a bunch of like songs slapped together because someone told us we need to make an album. You just want it to feel more natural, you know? So when the time's right, we'll do it.
And only then, because you're right. You don't want to slap songs together and make an album because
It just,
We
it
wanna
just
do it
hurts.
right.
you can tell.
Yeah, it's not even like from a business aspect, it hurts the sales of the album if it's not
Yeah.
good, you know, for you.
But your relationship with your audience and your
Yeah,
fans.
yeah. Exactly.
It's very important.
Do you guys prefer clubs or festivals?
Ooh, that's a tough question because I could play to a room to like 100 people and be so satisfied, or like a field to like 30,000 or something like
Yeah.
that, and it's like they're completely different feelings.
What does a crowd need to give you to feel satisfied?
Energy.
Yeah.
Energy. We put out a lot of ourselves when we're up there performing,
Yeah.
you know, having the time of our lives. So when it feels like the crowd's giving you that back, it's not even like you can tell. It's just like a feeling, you know? And when you get that, it feels amazing. It's
Yeah.
like the reason why we do what we do.
Like in Australia, I think it was like 120 degrees or something like that, and humid.
Ew.
And we were like dripping sweat, and the entire crowd was also going like just as hard as us, and we were just like, okay, if you're like out there in the direct sunlight going as crazy as us, then that's like an amazing show.
I actually fainted after that set. I had a Rocky moment where I literally took off my shirt and I was like sitting down and they were just all pouring water on me, like, snap out of it, you'll be fine. And I was just like, whew.
But you
Back
guys
at it.
tweeted, please don't mosh at our shows. We play house music.
Yeah.
If they're moshing, that means they're into it, right?
Yeah, hey, at the end of the day,
We just don't want anybody to get hurt.
Okay.
You know?
Violence ain't cool.
We're
yeah,
not a
violence
punk
is
rock
not
concert,
cool.
but like we don't want anybody to get hurt.
And also just like when I hear house music, I want to dance. So the idea of like moshing to it is just weird.
Doesn't really
Yeah.
fit. You're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit.
That's the thing is like we want our concerts to be fun and danceable, not like violent. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
to enough punk rock shows in my life.
And you could see it when you're
Yeah.
up there and you see like people going at it.
It
It's
freaks
like,
you
it's like,
out.
Yeah.
like I don't want somebody to get like punched in the head or something.
Yeah,
like-
exactly. Because a lot of people, like you can tell, you know, they're coming to our shows for like a good vibe, a fun party. They're not really expecting that. So when that happens, it's like no one knows what to do, and it ruins the experience for everyone else. You know?
But your records have also crossed genres, right? Like it's playing at alternative radio, isn't it? Wasn't it playing?
News to me, but I'm down.
Or is it playing at, I thought it was playing somewhere. I thought like something other than pop radio was playing.
Oh well,
Body.
Body. It was going so hard for so long in Canada that it like transitioned
crossed
into
over
adult
into,
contemporary.
AC.
Yeah,
That's where
So-
it is.
So
Yeah.
you get like John Mayer, and then
I
you
thought
get
it was-
Body next.
Which that makes sense. I thought it was alternative for a
Yeah.
second because his voice is so unique. You know?
Yeah, it's a super strange feeling for us just because, let me be completely honest, we had no intention of like, you know, being on pop radio. We just made it because we loved it, you know? So
Yeah.
now it being like on all these stations next to, like I was saying, Shawn Mendes and John Mayer and stuff like
But it
that.
fits.
It's a great feeling, but it's like totally, we're like, oh, whoa, this is weird.
It's charting now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
charting
top
Billboard,
which is a really great feeling for us. You know, the song's been out for so long, so to see it still have that steam, it's an
And it's-
incredible feeling.
Yeah, getting played everywhere on the
How
radio.
long from like the day you released it to the day it charted? Like, do you know how long that length was?
I mean,
on
2 weeks
Billboard?
ago-
Yeah.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, go October 2017 to 2 weeks ago.
So it's almost like
A year
and a half.
and-
A year and a half.
half, like 3/4.
not a year and a half, like a year and 3-4 months.
Yeah.
It's
That doesn't
exciting.
happen often, so we're very blessed and grateful to be in that position. We're gonna make the most of it.
Yeah.
Ride the wave, my friends.
Ride the wave.
Make Canada proud. Canada
Okay.
loves you.
We love
We
Canada.
love Canada.
Kiss is obsessed with you. I play you every weekend on 92.5
Yeah.
and all the Kiss stations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
we're-
you for the support.
We're really good friends with everyone out there.
They're
we love them,
obsessed.
and they've done an amazing job of supporting us and allow us to be in the position that we are. So,
Yeah.
nothing but love.
I mean, they did help you put you in this position, right?
Yeah, they were the
Of course.
they were the first stations to like start playing our stuff.
Yeah.
Like we had no, it's not like we had any radio history. We didn't even have a song that came like within a sniff of radio. So
I can go as deep as to say the government helped you break because CanCon doesn't force, but it promotes and asks for people to play
yeah.
Canadian artists
That's
and
the
give
nice
Canadian
thing about
artists a
Canada
shot.
is they're very supporting the music scene.
awesome.
There is
Yeah.
really good, and it's just to bring up artists.
But even the arts, you said you had a DJ club.
yeah.
Yep.
For anyone that's listening that doesn't really know what we're talking about, in Canada they have a quota basically of just like Canadian music that needs to be played on radio, which is unheard of.
it's like
And-
it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
we're supporting Canada.
Canadians.
Yeah, and honestly, it gave us our first lift because we were going to radio stations, you know, as unknown artists, and to listen to the song and be like, I really like this song. Wait, you're Canadian? So I love this song and you're Canadian?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a huge plus for
yeah,
them.
it was like a done deal. And then that was what got our feet in the door. And then once it started like doing really well data-wise and all of that, then everyone started picking it up. So I mean, it all really goes back to that.
You ever reach out to your fellow Canadians that are successful and be like, hey guys, we're both Canadian, let's make some music?
all the time. Yeah, and we have tons of homies in Canada that we love working with, and we will continue to work with. So
I'm talking about like Drake and
Yeah,
the
we
Weeknd.
would love to
We
work
haven't
with
met Drake
Drake,
yet. We haven't
Weeknd, Bieber, any of those dudes. To be honest, I don't think we're on that level yet, but
No.
we're gonna get there. So
yeah,
Carly
We'd
Rae
love to do
Jepsen.
songs with them.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
She's great.
Alessia Cara.
Amazing.
Shawn Mendes.
Amazing.
Shawn Mendes honestly would work with any of them in a heartbeat. I think we just still have some work to do in terms of telling our story and what we're about,
Yeah.
and getting some more music out, and then making those connections.
But see, you hit on something pretty important, telling your story. Do you feel like the singles you've released have told your story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I think the question is just how to continue telling that in a way that feels authentic to us.
We want people to know who we are also. Like, we don't want people to just be like, oh, I know that song, but like, who are these guys?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want people to know like who we are as individuals together, like what our lives are about,
Yeah.
what we do.
Is that
It's really
motivating
important.
to
yeah,
you?
Yeah.
It's really important to me that they know that I don't like pineapples on pizza. Very important.
Shout it. Buy
Put it
a
on
billboard. You're on record right here. No, but that kind of also makes a difference between a one-hit wonder and somebody who isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been doing this for so long. We've seen DJs we've looked up to rise. We've seen some fall, and we've learned a lot from that. So it's kind of like while all that was happening and we were waiting for a moment, now that it's finally here, we have so much hunger and determination to making sure that we take the most advantage of it. Do everything we can.
You guys referenced Canada in the body lyrics when you talk about the six, right?
Yep.
Was that originally in there, or did you guys write that in?
Yeah, that was originally in there, and
That's
that's
the
the funniest part is
Yeah.
because Brando had never been to Toronto.
Why do you put it in there?
Because people
like,
just
it
love
sounded
Toronto
good.
that have never been.
Yeah,
I
and
think
it's-
Drake's
No,
done a
he
really-
honestly was just like, it sounded good, like it worked, so I
Yeah.
used it. I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
really?
But it also touches on a good point that we noticed, within our first few times of being in LA, is that every time we meet people and be like, hey, I'm from Toronto, they're like, wow, I want to go there. It sounds so cool.
Dude, the Six
Yeah.
God is from
Drake's,
there.
Drake's done an amazing job of selling it as this mystical
Yeah.
like Disneyland that is just absolutely magical. So people that don't even really know what that means, they're always super intrigued by that. Like, we always get calls from like Germany and Australia being like, what is the Six?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I want to go.
Tell them that
We're
it's
like, it's the area code.
it's a clean, more inviting version of New
York City.
York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's so nice, and the people are really great.
It is.
It's beautiful.
No, stand by all of that. Weather could definitely use some improvement.
But that's East
why we're
Coast.
here. But
Go to Vancouver if you want better weather.
yeah, but then it's rain. And you guys had like 2 weeks of rain in LA, and everyone lost
We
their
just
mind.
missed it. We're so thankful.
Congratulations. Do you have a house here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're not sleeping in the same bed anymore.
No,
Oh, congratulations.
Sharing a bed.
Yeah.
Keep thriving.
Biggest part of this year, we don't have to sleep in the same
It's
bed.
the little things in life.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I mean, I'm sure you guys are pulling in a lot of money per show nowadays, aren't you?
You know, we're just trying to make progress upwards and onwards. As long as we're not going backwards, that's all that matters.
Yes.
How long do you think Body's going to last? And do you have a record ready to go?
For the next
Only God
60
knows
years,
that
if
one.
you ask me. No, we have, like we were saying, tons of music ready
Yes.
to go. The blessing and the curse is that Body hasn't really slowed down. So anyone from our labels to our peers has been like, you don't need to release anything just yet. You know, you don't want to distract. The message, you know, is this song and getting new people who haven't heard it into it, right?
It
And
is.
when that time has come where it just feels like, okay, it's not doing its thing anymore.
Until every person on this planet has heard Body, then we're done.
You going to take a massive poll?
yeah.
I'm going to be sending everybody a pamphlet. Can you please vote?
Census form. Yeah. But I mean, just to put in perspective, it sounds ridiculous because the song's been out for so long, but we just reached our peak this past week on Billboard.
Get it.
Right?
Keep going.
So it's like, keep
It's
going.
hard to measure because like literally every week something else happens and we're like, oh wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's like a cow with 9 lives. We thought it died like 9 times already, and it's still going.
Did you say cow with 9 lives?
Cat.
Oh, I thought you
I
said
think you said
cow.
cow,
With
too.
I was going to say, what kind of cows you got up in
A cat
Ontario?
with 9 a cat with 9 lives. We thought it died many deaths by now, and it just keeps going. It's shocking. So
Yeah.
we're just enjoying every moment of it.
Enjoy it. The song's great. You guys are awesome.
you.
Good
Thank you.
energy.
And
Thanks for
so much
bringing
for
it.
having
Yeah,
us.
thank you so much.
Anytime,
Oh,
all the
it's great hanging
time.
with you guys.
Mi casa es su casa.
Oh wait, I have one more question about the song.
Ugh.
Are you guys sick of it? No,
we
are you
sick of
guys are you sick of it?
No.
You're not.
No.
Okay.
There's a short period after the song is done and like when we release it where I get really sick and tired of the song and I'm like I can
Yeah.
never listen to this again. And then it like comes back around and I'm like, oh okay, this is like
Yeah.
cool.
But I think the thing that makes it different for us is that it's been the soundtrack to so many special moments
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shows and all these fun times that we've had
Yeah.
that like you can't
It's
hear
hard
it.
it's hard to like hear it and just be like, oh like I put on something else.
Yeah, because it just has like so many special moments with it for us.
Yeah.
So, you know, it never gets old.
We won't be the ones to put it on at a party. Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna be like, hey, listen to this sick track.
We're very weird about playing our own music, like for people, just because it kind of we associate it with like smelling your own farts.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Of
Where it's
course.
just like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm like so into my music.
You
I
say
made
that
this.
now.
Yeah.
You say that now. I
But
have
if it
so many
comes on-
artist friends who said that at one point, and now you go to their house and it's like, you're going to sit here and you're going to listen to this now. And it's the same record
I
on
hope
repeat.
it never gets like
Yeah,
that.
and I think it's biologically impossible for us to, because like Joe
You're
was
your
saying,
children.
what constantly happens is we listen to a song that we're working on so much that we hate it by the time it's like out. So we're always like, I never want to hear that song again. I never want to hear that song again. So I could never be like listening to it over and over.
That's beautiful.
A stream is a stream.
A stream
That is
is a
true.
stream.
Well, yeah. Maybe you're not sharing the songs that are already out with people. Maybe the new music you're listening
The
to.
new
on
music
repeat.
will play for
Yeah.
people.
That's
We do
what my
that all
friends
the
will play
time.
for me.
Yeah, well, it's just important to like see, you know, it's a good way to indicate just like what sort of
Yeah.
vibe the track has. You know, like I don't even listen to what they say. Like, oh, this is a good track.
Yeah, you
I
just
just
look
watch
at
their
their
body.
body.
Yeah, I just watch their body when we're playing
Yeah.
music and just see how they're
If somebody's kind of
moving.
like
Yeah.
sitting there just like, then you know it's not a very good track.
Delete.
Yeah.
So, what do you judge a good record on? It's melody, you said, but it's obviously movement. But you would never release a ballad.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows?
Definitely
honestly.
an upbeat ballad.
Yeah.
I'm really into the idea of crying.
We
on the
kind of
dance
have an
floor.
upbeat ballad right
Oh.
now that
Yeah.
we're working on. So
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Cool.
We're not really putting any limits on ourselves, you know? At the end of the day, we just ask ourselves, does this feel like us?
Yeah.
And if it does, we put it out. That's it.
It's a pretty healthy mode of measurement.
Yep.
Loud Luxury. Does that name have any meaning?
It does.
What is it?
So what happened was, you know how I was talking earlier about when Joe and I were first starting to get together, he's like, okay, we should form this duo. Let's get some photos done. We need a name. So I came with a list of names that we were going over.
Yeah, like we
and
both made a list and we're like, okay, let's like pick something.
Yeah.
we gotta figure it out. And like
Yeah.
today's the day because we wanted to get it done in like one go where it's like we get the Instagram, the Twitter. We didn't want to have to like fight with somebody down the line and be like, oh, like they have our Twitter handle or something like that. So
Yeah.
I remember he came and like we made the list and put it together, and it was just like immediately I saw the name and I was like, that one.
Yeah. But where the name came from is if you look at my notes on my phone, none of it makes sense. Every note is like one sentence that you're like, what does that mean? But just whenever I like hear something that like sparks inspiration, I'll write it down. And back when I was in high school, how I got into music was I was making hip hop beats and working with this group called the 90s. They weren't really good, but they had really creative, like catchy names for everything that they did. And we worked on this song together called Loud Luxury. That was about like owning designer clothes and like all that stuff. Wow. And the song wasn't good, but I just couldn't get that name out of my head. I thought it was like the contrast of it was just like really interesting. So I like mentally bookmarked it just as like this really cool thing that I liked, and I wrote it down. And I remember Joe just instantly like seeing 50 names and be like, "Dude,
that's
done."
it.
And I was like, "There we go," you know.
And where are the 90s now?
Back in Mississauga, Ontario.
I think we owe them a drink.
Yeah, we owe them more than a drink. We owe them a lot. I've still kept in touch with a few of them, but we owe them a drink.
Have you entered that phase yet of your journey where you're kind of weeding people out from the past and being selective? Because a lot of people, I'm sure, hit you up.
I mean, like I was touching on before, it's just we surround ourselves with like good people and the people that kind of stick with us. You know what I mean?
We're busier now, genuinely. Like everyone, old friends and whoever that like reaches out and like wants to like keep in touch and stuff like that. I wish I could spend a day literally just sitting down with each of them and catching up and just like hang out like old times. We're just really busy right now, so we unfortunately don't have as much time to do that.
Like usually around like Christmas or like holidays and stuff like that. Like
so what do you do? Just not answer them when they text you?
No, obviously you answer them.
But it's like any person that reaches out.
But if they're like, oh, let's go grab a beer or like come to my birthday party next month, it's like,
I'm not
going to
be here. But I genuinely wish every single person that reaches out I could like sit down with and have a beer with.
That's beautiful. That's so Canadian of you.
Beer, especially. Watch some hockey, you know, build an igloo.
I was going to say the nice part about it. Beer's universal, being nice. Canadian. I appreciate the two of you. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Love, Loud Luxury.
Thank you.
I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and like and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere, so click them. Thanks for watching.